Claudius. Very
Oh,
good.
Lavas.
Oof.
That's easy enough.
Were you here last
Barely
week?
passed.
Yeah, you were.
I was.
Yeah.
Okay. Last week, we reconvened in the city that belongs to the orcs, and we met this Tethora character who's really gung-ho on magic, but maybe not that self-aware or aware of his surroundings. Gives Tism level 5. And we talked about the naming schemes of some of his spells, and I think we came up with some cool ones. And we wandered in the woods until we heard a noise, and we snuck up on someone who was doing some shady shit. But they offered us money to help them, which was enough for us to agree to help them. And then they summoned a bunch of spy devils and immediately betrayed us and started attacking us. And we turned on them, killed them and all the spy devils, and are no wiser for it. We also grabbed some new items while we were at the Orc Town. I got a new scimitar, Chuck got a new mop.
And there was the constructed central altar with the
Purple
purple
orb
glass, which you smashed and found a purple glowing
Right, and I had a
eye.
hypothesis about the color relating to the planes.
You did hypothesize that. I can't recall because I don't have it in the notes. Did anyone take this stone?
I
Yes.
believe I did.
Spikes did. And
Yeah.
I stripped the mage of his rod and his robes.
So the
Ah.
did we establish how much of the quartz you
Took his
got?
staff too.
We did not. I just put like a vague item in my inventory. This is purple quartz. So I didn't. There's not like a quantity or weight measurement. I don't know how big it actually was.
It weighs in at about 2 pounds.
Was that enough for me to acquire DM inspiration?
Yeah, that's fine.
Nice. It was a good one to have to recap for it. Did not
Yeah.
a ton happened.
When you took away the purple stone, though, you saw glowing purple runes embedded in the stone underneath it.
Oh, I also made an etching of the marks on the guy's chest.
Yes.
Is it are the runes in a specific language or?
They are not. They're arcane runes, and so it's more a complex system than a language
Kind of
specifically.
like symbols, yeah. Okay. Have I seen runes like this before? It's like seen runes like this before.
You can give me an Arcana check.
Guessing not.
They seem magical in nature.
Ithora, there's some runes up here that maybe you'll be interested in.
Tethora hurries over to examine them. And what's Tethora's Arcana? 6? Let's see what I... Oh, God! Tethora looks at it, scratching their head and goes, seems to be written in some sort of runes.
Yes, that's precisely what I was thinking as well.
Well, terrible minds think alike. Do you think this is a message, perhaps, from their patron?
Perhaps. I mean, I would also think that maybe this was something that mage was trying to use to hone in on exactly where his patron was. And maybe he got the runes wrong, and that's why these hideous foul beasts appeared.
Zathora looks at you skeptically and goes, "No, that kind of seems like it went according to plan."
He said he had problem with the aiming, not the sort of the mechanics of it.
It seemed intentional to bring those things on us.
It sure did. Maybe he was trying to use us in some way to get his master. Can I roll Arcana as well, see if I see anything?
Sure.
Oh, thank goodness.
Son of a bitch.
Love to see it, boys. +0.
Solid. You know, Lavas, you know a lot more than you let on to.
I know nothing, but in this one case, I might actually know something.
You've been crushing like all of the knowledge checks, actually, right? Like you did a pretty solid Arcana check.
Yeah,
On last week's session, or history, whatever it was about the levels of hell.
it was also Arcana, which again I got a +0 to.
Yeah.
The finesses of it still escape you, but you looking at this can tell it is structured like a spell. The specifics of the spell elude you, but it seems to be built in that one capable of casting it could study it and add it to their prepared list.
Prepared. Does anyone in our party use prepared spells?
By that I mean like add to the known or prepared spells. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So like as long as they have the ability to cast that spell specifically, they would now be able to learn it.
I think we should definitely take some notes here. Then it could be a powerful spell one of us might be able to use later.
Very well, I'll grab out. Oh, do I? No, never mind.
I have cartography tools. They're not quite. How big is the dais that the runes are on?
The entire dais is about 5 feet across.
Certainly, we have someone who's good with these kinds of things.
I mean, I don't have the equipment, I don't think, to write. Well, hold on, let me look at my backpack. I probably do. I think I do have it. I have paper and an ink and an ink pen.
That would be enough.
Yeah, I can copy. Sykes will start doing his best to copy all the runes and.
You make notations for future study in the hope that you might one day be able to uncover more of the secrets about it. Well, I wonder if we've just discovered a new... apologies there. I wonder if our friend here... sorry, your name was Lane? He says, looking at Lavas.
Oh, Lavos is. Are you talking to me?
Yes. Your name
Well,
is Lane, isn't it?
Lavos.
Ah, yes. I was mostly there.
Yeah, okay, you were mostly there. What would you like me to do?
Well, no, I was just going to say that perhaps you've successfully unearthed a new spell to this point unknown.
As soon as I figure it out, the naming begins. Tathora,
Yes.
you're good with magic. Any idea what this spell does? If I were to guess, I would say it has something to do with planar magic.
Well, now that you point it out, looking it over, seems to be more about like a trap of some sort.
Oh,
Trap. So this one might have been attempting to betray the master they were calling, or at least secure it in this world.
So Lavas, as you're looking it over, you don't know what classes can cast this, but you learned that this, and you can rename it if you want to, is a spell of Binding Circle. It's a level 2 spell with verbal, somatic, and material components. The material components are a platinum compass, like a map compass, worth 50 gold, and 5 gold worth of incense per creature designated, and the spell consumes the incense. It creates a 15-foot radius, and I'm going to put all of this in text.
Okay, yeah, because I
Yeah.
was like trying to copy it into the description.
No, I have it written down. I'm just reading
Okay,
it out first. And it lasts for 1 hour from the time of casting. And there's 2 ways you can cast this spell. Pick one creature type and up to the number of creatures you wish to contain within it. That is designed by the number of the amount of incense you consume. If the number of creatures exceeds what you've designated, the creatures will make their saves with advantage. And that has a casting time of 1 minute. Or, if you know the name and creature type, if they have them, that you want to catch, it only requires a casting time of 1 turn. Once the correct creatures enter the circle, any that do become trapped there. Upon entering, the creatures must make a charisma saving throw or become vulnerable to a damage type designated by you at the time of casting. They are not able to physically leave, though magical departure is still possible. And at each of their turns, they get to make a charisma saving throw with disadvantage to attempt to break free from the circle and leave on their next turn. The souls of any creatures slain in this circle immediately go to the river Styx.
I had a working theory, but the last line of that really threw it off. The river Styx are Hades, right?
The Nine Hells.
Oh, that is in the Nine Hells.
Yeah, because there's no Hades in this level. The river Styx actually flows through
All the lower planes.
all the lower planes, not just the Nine Hells, but it basically winds down from one level to the other, from Avernus all the way down to Nessus. and it is where all souls bound there start. It has a number of other properties that are less known as well. So if you only know the creature type, it takes a minute to cast. But if you know the exact name and type of creature, then you can cast it in one turn.
Anyone have any working theories, knowing getting all this information now?
Well, it seems this one was trying to draw something forth and, I guess, attempt to bind it and subject it to its will of some sort, or extort it for release. Because it would not make sense to aim a portal to this realm, to bring it up, bind it, and kill it, but thereby sending it back.
I have a couple other theories. It wanted to feed us power souls to this thing. But was he really expecting to be able to survive a full minute then? What do I see for components? How many people was he trying to lock in?
The spell was not cast.
How many incense? Is the incense set up for it?
No, the spell was not cast. This is like the equivalent of a spell scroll.
Oh.
So he etched everything into stone, and the idea would have been to pull someone through and then use it as a scroll. Pull whatever through.
It would have been easier to verify this had you left him alive.
He was dying. I made good on the intimidation check that I failed. All right. I told him what I was going to do. He didn't give me the information. I executed him. All right.
He was a dick. I am glad he is dead. Chuck's just wiping the brain matter off his mom.
There's also a weird world where he was going to use this as a cheap teleport.
Yeah. But then why bring anything through?
That I don't know, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to this, right? Because originally we got another coin from him, and it's the same coin I had given. Well, same type of coin I had given to I Noel, and he essentially said that it contains like that has the potential to like contain souls. I think I looked through my notes, but that's kind of what I got from that. And if he's got he had a coin like that. Maybe that's what he was looking to do with us, like.
With my Arcana check from last time, I had a vague idea of the wheeling and dealing in hell.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he was trying to collect our souls as currency or something. Seems like a wild trap to set in the middle of nowhere, though.
Maybe this is the only place he could channel the direct magics from the land to fuel this spell.
Well, not the magic circle spell. I think that can be done anywhere. But the magic circle isn't how he brought these demons here.
Well, yes, this
Anyone have Speak
more
with
than a
Dead?
portal. I mean, I can hit him really hard. That'll help.
Nah, that ain't it.
Might be a mystery we cannot solve, but only speculate on.
Who would be able to cast Speak with Dead? It's pretty much like, I don't know if bards
Maybe a
can or not.
bard?
Clerics and druids.
Yeah.
Bards through magical secrets.
Bards and clerics.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, Harkin. Bards and clerics.
Yeah.
If
What the
only
hell,
there was
man?
if only there was a way to talk with the deceased. Perhaps he'd be willing to give us some more answers.
okay. Let's think this through. Summon spine devils. Oh, what was the other thing he summoned? It was gross.
The Babao.
Yeah. Babao now. Babao. Babao now.
If we boil it down to a singular purpose, what would you guys think his singular purpose was in doing all this?
I would think maybe to capture his patron or his boss and demand more powers.
Then why turn on us immediately?
That is
Yeah,
a good
'cause-
question.
Because he couldn't complete the ritual without Koi's spell. Seems
Let's not-
silly to
let's-
think that he
let's-
was just like waiting for us.
Let's not build on that as fact.
Something important to note: the spell slot he specifically required was of a tier or a level 2. However, the magics are determined.
Yeah, but then
Could
he
be.
cast higher level magic than that at us.
It could be he just
Yeah, right.
needed us for this spell slot, and then because I don't think he did not attack us directly. I think the demons attacked us directly first, and he was just concentrating on keeping the thing open.
No, as
And
soon as
demons
he
are just
saw
gonna
me, he
demon.
attacked me.
Ah, okay.
Someone
He
tell
wait-
me something about that.
No, I'm not
I'm
salty
kidding,
about it.
I'm kidding.
He tipped his hand by
Just
doing
came out
that.
of nowhere and fucked in.
That was just giving shit, nothing else.
He tipped his hand by doing that. I think that maybe he got us to do it so that he could spare a spell slot for himself, as well as weaken us. I don't think he necessarily needed us to cast a spell, but I think the spell would have been pointless to cast unless we were here.
Well, I simply think that he was going to use Koi's magic to cast this spell on the runes to bind whatever he was attempting to pull through.
Didn't he use her spell to pull out these spine devils?
He simply just made a mention that in order to do what he needed, he would need that additional magical essence and power. So I'm not quite sure, but I would think that he was going to use her magic to complete the whole transaction of whatever he intended to bring over here.
The spell is super powerful, but I doubt that he was planning to use it to hold the being that gives him power. I think half of us could escape it already.
Tithora is staring at the circle and then staring back and saying, didn't he say that this was to communicate with his patron?
Yes.
What if, conversely, this was to communicate with his patron to gain knowledge? And it was not his hand that wrote the runes, but instead was the byproduct of the ritual that he learned a new spell. For there seem to be components in here of fiendish, infernal nature.
So you're saying that this spell was the fine print?
No, more like he did the ritual in order to learn this spell.
Oh, this is the fruits of his labor.
I do wonder so, because he was attempting to contact his patron. What if he was able to do so, and the contact he received from his patron was to have this spell wrought here as some kind of dark knowledge for him to gain as a reward?
A reward for what?
Didn't know.
Serving this master? What if this was like a check-in and he was getting his payment? Or even, potentially, what if his master wanted these foul creatures to be here on this continent, and so his duty was to open up the portal, and the repayment was the spell?
Okay, I like that. Because I'm trying to figure out everything. If this is the payment, then theoretically, if he had just gone through the ritual, he would have got it. But by attacking us, he instead paid with his life. But if the cost was the Spine Devils, then I guess it makes sense he attacked us.
Well, several theories there. One, it might be that the Spine Devils had to come through and he knew or did not even know, so that might have been a surprise. Alternatively, it could have been far more simple human nature. He saw an opportunity to loot some well-equipped individuals.
Well, if his patron wanted these creatures on this
This
plane,
is all speculation.
Yeah.
But
it would only
it
make
might
sense.
actually be
Interesting
that
motive.
he did not anticipate anyone to come across him, felt threatened, saw how well equipped and armed all of us are, and thought, hey, perhaps he could loot the bodies, as it were.
Two triads with one fire.
Oh, that is dark. But he, more or less, yes, something akin to that.
Well, I think he absolutely chose wrong. As Sykes hefts the purple quartz a couple
Yes,
times.
it would be so entirely uncharacteristic for one who has sold their soul to a devil to demonstrate poor judgment.
Damn it, Tithora.
You always must
making
look
a
at
whole
the
lot of
interest
sense.
rates.
I
And
fall
that's,
into
and
it
that's why
again,
I'll have none of that.
trying to ascribe logic to a being that obviously forewent it.
So this comes back to one of my homebrew rules. I am open to a warlock being an intelligence-based warlock. Like, it could be interesting and compelling. Under no means would I allow a wisdom-based warlock, because if one had enough wisdom for that, they wouldn't
Would
have
not
done
work.
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Plenty of intelligent people have done stupid things to gain power, like
Yeah.
logically themselves into it. The wise do not do so.
Well, Voss is pretty wise.
Yeah.
Thank you,
We should-
Tithora.
Again, purely speculation, but just recalling what he was saying, that all of this was intended as a means of communicating. It is possible he's come up with this magic on his own, but crafting new spells, I like to think, takes a bit of finesse. And the fact of how this was struck here, it doesn't seem to serve a purpose. Like, this is a recipe for the spell, not the spell itself. So it wasn't like he was casting it, and it wouldn't have served as a spell scroll, so it wasn't like he could trigger it. So why would it be there from him?
No, I agree 100%.
Well, perhaps
And if,
perhaps that orb was simply a conduit to move the information, and this quartz.
Or even to conceal the secret of the power. These quartz stones seem to occur naturally or randomly here in Althsteir. Perhaps he was concealing that it was one of those things, providing so much of the ability here.
Guys, I have a pretty bad idea, but it might illuminate some things for us.
Tithora scrunches up his face and he says, "I don't like how you say illuminate."
I think we happen to have another stone of a different color.
Yes, those do. Well, they don't belong to the dwarves, but we probably should make good on giving them to them, as some of our comrades here have taking out loans against them for equipment.
Fair enough. I just, as a thought experiment, what do you think would happen if we just replaced that orb with a different colored orb with a different ore in it?
well, look at all the smashed pieces of the quartz. It might be hard to get it back in there.
Well, first we'll have to create another orb. I'm not familiar
And
with
open a portal.
glass blowing, but perhaps...
Yes, given what came out of here, perhaps that might not be the instance to experiment with it. If it's not fiends this time, what came out was something from a darker plane?
I agree that it's not the best idea, but even just for speculation, using it as a launching pad to consider what this thing actually is. Is this thing a conduit or a portal creator of some sort?
Well, it certainly acts as a portal of some sort, but...
Or at least a focal point of energy.
Is it, or could he have done this anywhere?
He seems to have gone to great effort to construct this.
Agreed. So maybe we should mark it on the map and come back for further testing at some point.
I think if we gathered more materials and we were...
Yes.
maybe perhaps did a little more research in understanding these quartz in ores and minerals to a more finite degree, then absolutely, I think it would be very wise to actually come back here. We can understand the magic of this land.
Imagine if we could create a permanent portal to the Fae from here or something.
That would be interesting. Perhaps marking it, but I personally would request not doing it now.
Agreed.
Yes. Koei, can you join us over here for a second?
Why?
Because I'm trying to heal us a little bit before we head off. And we need to be in sort of a group.
Okay. You insist.
Oh wait, does it? It's a light die for every
Yeah.
creature.
Yeah.
Great.
Well,
Should we not make
perhaps
camp
we
instead?
perhaps we just take a rest. It is late in the evening.
Yeah, it's what past sunset at this point, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've
it's
been
nighttime.
traveling through the dark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then maybe we just rest. Can I look around a little bit?
No, you
I'm
told
pretty
me I
sure-
was gonna get healed.
Well, you'll get healed in your slumber.
Fucking false advertising.
I'm gonna try looking just around. I think we did it before, but just double checking, looking around, seeing if there's sort of sign of more than one guy.
No, you did a pretty good tracking. Lavas in particular,
Hmm.
it's just the signs of the one guy plus, all the fiendish footprints and stuff that you encountered since then.
Cool.
About how far from Durkheim are we?
You're like a day and a third away, I think.
Okay.
And it's still another
I
like
think-
day or so to Vault's New, right?
Yeah.
I think for two
We're
reasons
like kind of
we
like
should stay
we're
here.
like in the middle, like we're like at the halfway point almost. Of
Roughly.
Okay.
Good place, if any, is to set up camp.
Yeah, and I'd like some confirmation that no one else is aware and visiting this thing regularly. So if we stay here, we can keep an eye out.
Sounds good.
Very well. Yes, we should, in fact, make sure we're the only ones that know about this.
How would you suggest going about that?
Well, I mean, given that we followed some tracks deeper into the woods, perhaps as we make our way out of here, we conceal our own tracks as well.
A wise idea. Do any of you have the magic to do so?
Walk without trace will do it. Pass without trace.
Yeah, we just gotta make sure that we
And we
conceal
walked-
any tracks. We did walk in here with Pass Without Trace,
Exactly, so he didn't leave any tracks going on.
but the other individuals' footprints, we
That's just it, though. I was tracking while we came in here, and there were no footprints, so...
perhaps he's got a small domicile in the area.
Making fun of his domicile now.
Hey, that's not actually a bad idea.
Well, where would he have lived?
I mean, I can do a little bit of scouting while people sleep, too.
Do we wish to spend time on that?
While everyone else sleeps, I can do it.
Okay. Like he's gonna, okay. Look for it so we can investigate in the morning or something. As we set up
Yeah.
camp around here.
Yeah.
Okay. As you all bunk in, what kind of camp do you go about making for yourselves?
Well, probably like in
Well,
the wooded area, like using felled branches and pine needles, kind of like make beds, like as a layer to put our bedrolls and stuff on.
Okay.
Hmm.
Harkin, you were gonna ask something?
Oh, I was gonna ask what the weather was like at the moment.
It's cold but not windy, slightly cloudy, overcast, but not currently snowing or raining.
Okay. Harkin will agree about the getting into the wooded section.
Fire or no fire?
I don't need a fire.
Don't you?
Uh,
I was gonna say if there's no
probably say
fire. Oh, go ahead.
I'd say, or probably fire because we're probably it might be a Constitution save, and we're probably, if there's only one set of tracks, not too worried about somebody coming up.
Yeah, it does feel like we kind of were. I wouldn't say off the beaten path, but far enough away from.
You got lost. You got very lost.
We didn't get lost. I led them here.
He's like,
We
look
can't-
at all the great things that we found.
We literally can't get lost unless it's by magical means in my favorite terrain.
Oh, that's right.
But you weren't in the favorite terrain when you got lost.
Were we not in the forest?
No.
Oh.
We arrived to the forest being lost, if I remember
Exactly.
correctly.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we have a better idea of where we're going now, but up
Definitely,
until this
but
point,
you were roaming an open plain area, and foothills and things before.
I do remember immediately darting for the forest as soon as you said there was one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Partly because you rolled so bad on the survival, you're like, I don't know.
I was gonna say Harkin can take first watch for the night, since we may or may not be worried about people coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll stay with you in the.
Take
I'll
a
stay
watch.
with you in the first 2 as well, because I only need 4 hours.
Okay.
Just to help.
Oh my god, it is so hot here.
Yeah, I imagine like it's getting in, and it's only probably gonna get hotter for like the next month and some change, huh?
Oh, yeah.
No, actually, so here,
down a little.
May is the hottest month,
Hmm. Well,
because then we go into rainy season.
oh yeah. You know,
But-
rain is such a. Depending on where
Nice
you're
thing.
at, it could be a great thing or it
Yeah.
could be a terrible thing. Like, if it's always wet, rain sucks. But it's like in those
Well,
hot
here's
areas,
a
like,
little bit of a desert, so
yeah,
we
the more
like
the
the
merrier.
rain.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Sykes will pull a shift, I guess, in the later half of the night.
Okay. Could I get perception checks from everyone who is going to be helping?
For the first half or the second half?
First half.
Sykes
I
is
don't have
looking at
Bardic
some other
anymore.
stuff. Holy goodness! Oh my good! Oh, we did what? We weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
This is
To be
terrible.
fair,
Oh,
to be fair, up until this point, Harkin was like dying.
Yeah.
Well, mine
Well, also-
should be a 9 because I don't think I'm. Well, I guess I'm still poisoned. Why am I poisoned?
The
You
poison
got
was for
poisoned
something else,
because
right?
The
It wasn't actual poison.
Yeah, it was not actual poison.
So natural's a 9. It doesn't help.
It doesn't help. Okay.
It's not okay, Corryn. Don't lie to us.
Can I give you a perception check even though I'm trancing?
No, because you're unaware while trancing, and because you're going to be going and doing other stuff once you're finished.
While I'm trancing, I still can't be, what is that called? I can't
Surprised?
be... Yeah.
That's just because you're not asleep. That doesn't mean you're actively aware of what's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
You're,
No, I know.
you're doing more of like an internal focus. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So-
it's more that the surprise in that instance is when you're asleep,
Yeah.
you're caught
Yeah.
off guard.
yeah, like your passive perception would probably come into play. Like
Probably
if
not. even.
If it was like a big event or something big happened.
If something's about
Yeah,
to punch
yeah,
it in the head. Yeah.
right? Yeah. Like, oh, that was weird. I could have sworn, yes, such and such was over in this area.
The,
but-
the wording specifically is alert to danger, so I guess until it's dangerous.
Right. Once the fighting starts and initiative's rolled, you're not surprised, but you're not like actively on the hunt for things going on.
Just trying to get the most out of this favorite terrain. God knows when we'll be back.
I hear you. There's a fair few forests. Sykes, could you roll a d20 for me since you rolled lowest?
Oh, 100%. All the d20s you could ever want me to roll. Perfect. It's
Stay
exactly
roll.
what. It's exactly what I got. By perfect, I mean this works out well for us or you.
At the end of the day, somebody will be happy. That's
Yeah.
all that matters.
Exactly.
So the first 4 hours pass. Those who are trancing wake up.
I'm second shift trance.
Anything of note, guys?
No.
What?
I found this very cool stick. It has 3 points.
He's been staring at it the whole time. I was so entranced by it.
This purple
Yeah.
quartz, I think, might be more of a slighter hue of indigo. Maybe not quite violet.
That's a great way of demonstrating your lack of perception. That shit is violet. But you actually notice something during that time, as much of the exterior of this quartz seems to have lost its color and turned chalky, as if it's like died or withered away. And it's started to crumble until you find that where there was a much bigger piece of quartz, it's all kind of reduced down to a more marble piece of stone, round and smooth, almost egg-shaped, but approximately the size of like what you would put in a pommel.
Okay.
Quit playing with it. You wore it out.
Do I have? Do I have anything? Well, I guess this is a question for me to like look in my image. You're like, I don't know. Do you? Sorry.
Honestly.
Yeah. I'm looking to see if I have any sort of like potential container to put like the chalked residue into. I
Surely
think
you have a pouch.
Yeah, I think what I would probably do in this instance is probably like use a piece of like parchment or paper and kind of line
Yes,
it in the
paper.
pouch, and then try to like capture some of that chalk. I don't want a bunch of like chalk and everything just kind of like matted into my pouches or anything. So use the
Okay.
paper to kind of like line it,
Okay.
and then try to maintain some of that. But then, yeah, as like Sykes sees that everything's kind of like going away and it's like more of a smoother stone, he's gonna put it away. So, I don't want it to break further, and he'll just kind of put it back in that area. Does the weight change at all?
It does not change.
Okay, this is still pretty. So it's a pretty dense piece. Okay.
It's a little bit dense, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I don't know what it means, but we'll go with it for now.
Is it only Lavas going and searching now?
Yeah, I'm going to sleep.
Or is anyone going with?
Yeah, no, I would have to that would take up too much of my time to benefit from the long rest.
Okay. Then, Lavas, could you give me a survival check going
Yeah.
through this part here? Oh
Nice.
my god.
The boss is the one who
I'm
can't get
scared.
lost, right?
And
It's
he
true, I
was
can't
never
get lost.
seen again.
He's not lost, he just doesn't know where you guys are. It's a subtle but important distinction.
I also get to add another 2 onto that.
You know, I've actually like dealt with something similar, whereas like I knew where I was actually at. I could
Yeah.
not remember exactly how to get back to where I was. And I didn't need to get back there, so it didn't matter. So I just got to where I needed to go. But it was like, at the same time, it was like, man, this could have been really bad if I didn't know where
You
to
know
go.
what? You know what? Let's use the inspiration before I forget I even
Okay.
have it.
This is like your shining moment, so
Please. Please use it.
Ooh, so much better.
so a
Plus
24 is
another-
a yeah. 24 is a slight contrast. Okay. Over this way, about a quarter mile, roughly half a kilometer from here, you find a very small, incredibly well concealed cabin. It has like fresh branches draped along the outside, trees kind of planted strategically, not in a fence, but in such ways to obstruct lines of sight, and embankments of snow built up on the sides as well.
Okay, cool. I'll mark that down. Come see it later. I really do want to explore now, but
The other thing that you find about 30 meters away are long furrows of ground, like ripped up, kind of like a hoe went through or a plow. And so it's like dug up with a deep trench inside, and the ground kind of burrowed up on the sides.
does it look
And
like it was made by a tool or an animal or?
you can give me a nature check.
$21. Nature is intelligence or wisdom?
Intelligence.
Okay, then I don't think I get to add it.
Animal. It's not a perfectly straight line at all. It curves and zigzags, and you couldn't imagine what the purpose would be for a tool to do this. It certainly doesn't look like the straight line for a farm or something like that.
Does this count as a track?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. How big, sorry?
It's like the opening itself is only a little under a foot wide, but the disturbed ground around it is several feet across.
I'm gonna think to myself about the yeet worm.
Oh, the yeet worm, that's right.
This kind of does fit the description, yeah.
Okay, can't wait to wake everyone up and tell them that there's more trouble potentially.
And of course, we all rolled like just straight
Yep.
terrible numbers for
Yep.
perception.
Do you go investigate the cabin?
I'm not gonna do that alone in case I get trapped and nobody knows where to find me. Feels like adventuring 101.
Oh, come on, it'll be fine. Oh, that's smart.
Lavos is a lot wiser than I am. He probably wouldn't.
Then you are all able to complete a long rest.
Geez, Solern, you have You're a meaty dude.
Yes, I never skip leg day.
Do I
show-
know? Do I know what type of creature the yeet worm is? More importantly, is
No.
it a monstrosity?
You do not know any such thing. You're relatively new to this region. The yeet worm is not native to your home plane.
Cool.
The next morning, as you all wake up, Lavas, you just like standing there, eagerly waiting the moment that they all wake up.
Oh yeah, looking real proud of himself, like a dog who killed a bird and brought it home.
What is it, boy? What have you found?
I'm not sure, but I definitely found the cabin this guy was living in. Sorry, the domicile, and there were definitely tracks that gave me yeet worm vibes.
It isn't surprising that they'd be around. But we definitely should. We all want to look at this cabin, right? He's probably got weird shit in there.
Right? I didn't go in
Yeah.
because I didn't want to
Right.
get stuck.
Perhaps he's got a journal or something that outlines what he was really after out here.
Yeah, then I would say lead on. It is a worthy detour before we head back.
If you all make your way to the cabin, it's a pretty short walk. And once you see it like this isn't magically concealed, it's more of a survival concealed, and so it's more reliant on not actively looking for it than avoiding that. So you're all able to find it relatively easy once you're knowing where to go.
Okay.
As you come to it, it looks to be a pretty small one, like a one-room cabin. Not even a porch to it. And as you come to the front door, you can see a padlock on it.
Well, let me take a look here. As Sykes goes up and he's gonna check to make sure there's nothing weird going on with the lock or the door jam or anything.
You can give me an investigation check. It seems to be a simple padlock, probably constructed in bolstone.
He's gonna use his thieves' tools to pop the lock.
Let's see it.
Oh my goodness!
You hear a little ping, and you pull out the blade that you slide in to turn it, and it is snapped about 1/3 of the way from the tip.
Rather a little embarrassing. He's gonna like rummage through the rest of his thieves' tools. Like, oh, maybe I have a different tool. Can I attempt it one more time?
It'll be with disadvantage because it's not the right
Okay.
tool. Oh, also, if everyone can remember to consume some rations for last night, since you were out in the wild.
I'll take them out of the inventory. Let's see how many
Cool.
people we got. 1, 2,
All right.
3, 4,
6.
5, 6.
It's control to do
Yeah.
the. Okay. Not much better, guys.
You didn't break this piece, but you resigned yourself.
I pull out my woodcutter's axe. Is it a wood door?
It is a wood door.
Anybody else
Very
want to give
well.
it a try? And yeah, I'm
He'll
just gonna go
remember
up.
like yeah. Go ahead. Sykes is gonna ashamedly take a step back.
Harkin's gonna be like, hold on. I want to try something.
Oh.
All right.
And then he's... Let's see, let me make sure.
So rather than
He's gonna knock on the door.
As you cast this, there's a small boom, and snow just slides right off of the roof. Snow topples over from all of the sides as it's like just been shook clean. The door rattles violently. One of the panes of glass in the back shatters, and the padlock pops open.
Yes, that was probably the only way we were gonna unlock. It was a rather, although it looked like a simple padlock, I can assure you, it was rather difficult to pick.
Just tap it and it pops open.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Inside check.
Yeah.
Harkin's gonna roll his eyes.
Yeah, I'll roll, just to make this funny, I'll roll that deception check there. I mean, it could potentially be believable.
Yes. A luck of superior quality.
Tithor is
Truly,
like, oh!
this land has so many mysteries.
Tithor just looks at you and says, how many different lives you must have lived to be an expert in the ways of locks as well. I'm quite impressed.
Yes, well, it is anything that has to do with a craftsmanship of sorts. I try to hone my skills.
That's quite a few things. You must be a truly impressive jack of all trades and master of a few.
I
I
would say
strive
he's
to be
master of none.
better. Well, that's what you would say.
How can you speak so dismissively of someone who's just opened the door for us?
Wait, what?
Yeah, Sights is I believe having Sights is taking credit for unlocking the door.
Sykes, did you open it?
Well, you did. In fact, watch
He
me
loosened it.
attempt to pick the lock. Did you not?
I watch you do something, then say you couldn't do it. Solarn pick up his axe and Harkin step in front to make a big noise.
Yes, and
Yes,
all of
and
that,
I'm
the
impressed
lock-
it did not produce an odor to match.
And the lock is now
Yes,
open, is it not? Ah,
Yes,
let's
Harkin,
get
they
beyond
were
this.
civilized people.
Let's
Harkin's just gonna
Yes.
enter the building.
Oh, inside, yes.
Can I check for traps or something?
Investigation check.
pretty good.
Looks all clear to me.
As the door creaks open, there's bare wood on the floor, save a small pelt at the over by a small iron stove, like practically a portable kind. Probably something that he's hauled out here. There is a cot in one corner with a small stack of blankets and a brazier for heat. It's quite Spartan in here, save a very battered and beaten footlocker at the base of the cot.
Is there a lock on the footlocker?
There's not.
Sykes
How big
will
is the
check
inside?
out the footlocker, verify it's like it's best to his knowledge safe to open.
How big is the what?
The inside the shack.
It's like very small. 15 by 15 feet.
Okay, so like probably gonna have trouble fitting everyone in at once.
I mean, you can fit 6 people in. It's a little crowded, but you can easily fit them in. It's like the size of a bedroom.
Why am I proficient?
Probably stay
navigating?
outside anyway. Watch our backs while other people investigate.
Going over to the footlocker and opening it. As you open it, you hear an audible voice going,
Well, before I did say that I was gonna try to verify that it was safe to open before I opened it.
You did verify that you didn't see any traps on the exterior. To verify better than just traditional exterior traps, you would have had to open.
Okay.
And just like you get it open an inch and you hear,
Oh,
what
damn.
do you do as you hear that?
I pause.
Besides
Exactly
look
where
for the
it's
shaving
open.
cream.
Yeah, I pause exactly where it's open at, and I just tell the others to get out.
Clear the room.
From outside, can I toss him the mage's staff wand thing?
Sure, yeah.
Seems pretty unique. This might help come in handy.
I feel like I'm just like stepped on the mine, and I know that at the moment I move away from it, bad things are about to happen. And yes, Sykes is he's gonna look at the rod that's next to him. He's gonna like try with one hand to like keep the chest at the exact level, and perhaps use the rod to. This is kind of difficult, I guess, but like would see if like he doesn't know how magic works. See if like touching the rod to the chest does anything.
It does not have any visible or audible reactions when you do.
Okay. Is he able to like get down on his knees and kind of like peer into the chest to see if there's like anything inside? I imagine I've got it open by like maybe an inch or so.
Yeah, it's right around an inch.
And
You can give me an investigation check.
there we go.
Oh.
Starting to get
Peering inside, you can see that like top layer around, and you see a very small little rune or glyph against the back of the lid part.
Okay. Hearken, there seems to be some magical. Looks like runes here. Do you think you can, if I hold this steady, do you think you can do to stop whatever this is? If I flip this lid or I close it, there's a chance bad things happen.
Arden's gonna be unsure if he can. Since they're magical, I don't think he can use comprehend languages on it, right?
Correct.
So is it like a connection? The rune is like the connector within the hinge?
It almost seems
Yeah,
like
so think of like a lid stacked on top, how it's like hollow inside, so that back lip where it would attach to the hinges.
Can you close it?
Perhaps if you were able to to wreck its binding. If it's a rune, if you to deface it, maybe.
Rub one off.
Here's my
We don't
pitch.
have time for that.
What if you close it, flip it upside down, and try to open it from the bottom?
I think any sort of. Well, if we were to break the bottom open, perhaps you may be onto something.
Why don't you ask it nicely to open itself?
Have you tried
Can
petting?
can Harkin make an Arcana check to see if he can discern what's on there?
Sure.
You're gonna have to look really tight in there. It's a little dark, but
It appears to
It looked
operate
really
on some form of magic.
Well, just as I thought, it's magical. Where's Tathora? Maybe he has better insight.
Respectfully, I'd rather not come into the cabin with the magical trap that seems to have been triggered.
yes.
Tell you what, Sykes. We'll all leave. You open it, and then, we can help you if need be.
Or
bring you
close
back.
it.
Yes, I would rather not destroy what's in the chest.
Oh,
There-
yeah.
I can't see what's in there, but perhaps nothing. And this was his play the whole time. But I think it
What
would be
all
wise.
did we recover from the dead mage?
Oh,
Or I say mage, but
I've got his boots.
I took his
haven't-
robes and his rod.
Yeah.
is there any sort of journals
Took
within the
his
cabin?
rod.
Phrasing.
Oh, I took his rod.
Yeah. We
no.
he had an iron coin too. That was the coin that I was talking
An
about.
iron coin, but you haven't found any journal.
Okay.
Well, yes, if you would back out slowly, I'll go ahead and close this in. Well, I think, Lavas, you had a pretty grand
phrasing?
idea. if perhaps we can just keep the lid closed and put it upside down, we may be able to break the bottom open and see the contents for itself. Unless you know how to get rid of spells, I don't see another way.
Are you sure you don't want to open it?
I am sure that I do not want to open it, but if you would like to open it, I very well can step out. I have a hard time understanding all these magics as they are. When it happens, it eludes some of the things I comprehend, and I don't want to be a part of figuring it out.
Yeah. Is the trunk currently up against a wall or furniture?
No, it's just against the foot of the bed.
Okay. Harkin will be like, okay, I'll open it. And he'll wait for Sykes to leave if he's gonna leave, and then Harkin's gonna open it from behind.
Okay.
Okay.
Phrasing.
Yeah, on that note, as he's like, sure, I'll open it, Sykes will gingerly and lightly close the footlocker, and he'll,
Do you want to give me a sleight of hand check for that?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I don't, but I will. Absolutely. Not bad. It's pretty
Pretty
good.
good.
I like that number.
Okay. You're able to close it without it reacting. And then you leave the premises as Harkin steps behind it. And you just pulling it open, ripping the band-aid off.
I'm gonna say he's gonna use his old rapier to kind of like pull it up from behind, just in case there's an explosion. It doesn't immediately blow his hands
Yeah.
off.
The lid falls open with a plop as you hear and nothing
Nope.
else happens.
No visual clues. It's open. He'll call out to the others.
He might have just wanted to make people feel really bad about it instead of any of damage.
You did hear that I insisted that it was wrong to open. The Yes?
Yeah,
That
from
wasn't
where
right. Okay.
from where Harkin is, after opening it, can he see the contents without like
Yes, you
standing
can.
directly above it?
There's a long wooden box. There is a pretty meaty looking pouch. Several sets of clothes. A nice tidy stack of rations in packets.
Okay.
And
The
a short bow.
the pouch, is it one that has like a drawstring or any sort of like handle?
Drawstring.
He's gonna pick it up using the rapier, like getting underneath the string and like carrying it out.
Okay,
If it's light enough to do so.
it is.
Perfect. Is there appear to be any sort of sigils on the outside of the bag?
No.
Harkin's gonna open the mouth of it and see if there's anything cool inside.
It is filled with gold coins.
Harkin's gonna close it and put it into his backpack.
Anything of
kinda-
use, young Harkin.
What kind of clothes are there? Are they just like plain clothes, traveler's clothes?
One set of relatively nice clothes, and 2 sets of travel clothes.
And then you said there was also there's also another box in it.
Yes.
Is the box locked in any sort of way?
It is not.
How elaborate is the box? Is it like a very simple box? Does it
A
seem
very
to be?
simple box.
Besides, I have a
Like
box for you to open.
Pine wood, probably handcrafted.
Sykes goes in and he, I guess, grabs the box and he looks at it. He's gonna look at like all the dimensions of it and see there's no weird things like runes that are gonna spook him as he opens this thing. And then, yeah, if he doesn't notice anything, he'll go ahead and open the box. But
Inside,
he'll do it like at a point where he's like leaned up against, Harkin. Like, here, let's take a look together.
Oh,
inside you find 6 small vials with a red liquid in each of them.
well, there's 6 of us.
Can I determine the liquid? Have I seen this kind of liquid before?
You've not.
It doesn't appear to be blood though, right? Like it's not that
No,
consistency?
it's a little bit too watery for blood.
Okay. I'll make sure he's not some weirdo.
Yeah, ew.
Yeah,
He's definitely some weirdo.
could not abide a weirdo such as him. Here, I guess we should all take one and perhaps study what these are.
Perhaps we'll back in Voltsnu there will be someone who's trained in analyzing such things.
Yes.
Or we could just drink them randomly and
Well, perhaps
nothing
yes. I
happens.
think
Or you could just identify it over a long rest.
there's so many
Where's your
things we
sense
can
of
do.
adventure?
the Solarian top would like he just slams it back or what? You say that. The Solarian like a sense of adventure. He just pops the top and just chugs it.
Maybe later.
Just randomly.
Yes, it seems like it would probably be better over a good hot meal and a nice warm fire.
It needs to be paired correctly.
Yes, I would agree. It could be wine for all we know.
God, I hope so. Well, grab the rations, throw them in with the rest of the party stuff.
Yeah. The clothes too. I think just to have extra like cloth Sykes would probably grab one of the sets of traveler's clothes for himself, but
Okay,
just like he doesn't have a specific need for more clothes.
sure.
How many rations were there?
10.
Ooh, nice.
And are you opening the pouch?
I thought Harkin already did.
Then there are 300 gold coins inside.
Oh goodness. Well, I opened the box, so if this doesn't divide evenly, I get the larger share.
Sykes pulls out his abacus and he starts doing the math. How does 300 divide into 6?
50.
Yeah.
It's 50.
I mean, I do know that, but Sykes is he's actually doing it. He's like, well, carry the 2, you know.
This machine seems less efficient.
And they're actual gold pieces,
Actual
right?
gold. Yeah.
Okay. Harkin will begrudgingly hand everyone their share. Except for Tethora, because he's not part of our group. We're just escorting him.
Also in the box with the vials, you find a very small, like, travel journal.
Now this is something interesting. As Sykes pulls it out and just kind of looks it over back and forth, and he just kind of starts to thumb through it real quick. Mostly what he's looking for is anything that cues him into why this specific spot was picked, or if there is any insight into the purpose of that spell that we found.
Flipping through the entry that you find closest to relevant, reads, Day 112. I have discovered a strange stone that seems to emit magical energy. When I was near it, I almost heard my patron's voice again. The first since I came to these lands. I shall investigate further and see if there is anything I can do to increase my ability to communicate with them, as I do not know for what else I've been sent here, and can only hope my purpose is fulfilled with all haste.
Looks as though he was using the magics of the stone to actually create a larger magical energy source to communicate with his patron, as he stated. If anyone else would care to look through the journal, it's rather sad he was put here without a thought of what he should do or complete.
Yes, so sad.
To not have a purpose, to not understand a purpose, it's really that would drive me insane.
This is a day without light.
Yeah, Sykes will kind of like put the journal across like Harkin's chest, like, go ahead and have a read for yourself. Not like aggressively, but more like, I think I've looked through this. I don't have a purpose to look any further.
There seems to be about 80 to 100 entries in here. Harkin, do you want to look somewhere specific, or?
Well, I don't know when it starts. What,
I mean,
at
you
the
can go to
end,
the beginning. I've heard it's a very good
Yeah.
place to start.
I know, but if he's marked everything as day number, I don't know, like, how far ago that was. What's
Yeah, I
the
guess, like,
last entry?
The last entry is day 139.
So it's about half a year.
20. Yeah. Under half a year, but
Assuming
Okay.
he marked in it every day.
And that's when we got here, correct? Or the colony, I say Volsnu, the newest colony. started?
Volsnu's been here longer than that. Not much, but a bit.
Oh, okay.
So
He'll
he
look
would have
at.
been an early arriver, but not one of the first.
Okay, so he'll look at the first entry because he said he was here from the second colony, if I remember correctly, or the second settlement.
That's what he said, yeah.
What does the first entry have to pertain with?
The first entry reads, I've been wondering, I don't know how long. My cabin was destroyed. I woke up in the splinters. All my belongings destroyed. I set off on foot back to the settlement only to find it also gone. I have no knowledge of what destroyed it or mine. All I know is that this place is cursed. I still do not understand why my patron sent me here, and I can only help but curse the need to turn to a patron to help my family survive. It has been weeks, perhaps even months, without the basics for survival living off of the land. I found this journal amongst some wreckage of a traveling caravan. I do not know if I will ever make it off this place and see my family. I can only hope that my patron honors our deal and looks after them.
Can I search for, or at least recommend something for you to look for? Look for
Sure.
any entry involving him coming across other travelers like he did with us, as well as anything that vaguely references the yeet worm or the mounds of dirt outside his house.
Okay. I guess Harkin will skim through looking for those sort of keywords.
Yeetworm and what other things?
Travelers,
Yeah,
past travelers.
other people.
You find a few references about trying to avoid travelers, seeing them off in the distance, making additional attempts to conceal his newly constructed hut. No reference of the worms, though.
Interesting. Interesting. In a life this boring, you think it'd be worth mentioning that you woke up, walked outside, and there were giant tracks.
Well, we assume they've been here for a while. Maybe he hasn't been back here
Like
since they've
stars.
arrived.
Exactly.
In which case, perhaps we shouldn't hang around here too long.
Yes, if you have found what you need to find, we should probably make our way back towards Vishnu.
His Voldsnu holds some things that we need to take care of.
Okay. Then you set back off in the direction of Volsnu, and we can take a quick bio break there.
Fantastic.
Nice, nice.
Be back in a minute. is Bard, Druid, and Ranger.
Bard, Druid, Ranger.
Yeah.
Oh, I put it for anyone that wants to look at it. I put it as a consumable. Even though I know it's not an actual scroll for the spell itself.
And once someone learns it, it'll become a spell that you can enter into your.
Okay. Yeah, I put it in the party inventory, along with the 6 vials of the red liquid. They were not really sure what it does yet. You said
Best damn hot
Bard,
sauce this
Druid,
side of
Ranger.
Louisiana.
Bard, Druid, Ranger.
We got some of those.
It just that would be funny if it turned out to just be Tabasco sauce.
Think we
It
might
would be
have
kind of funny
something
because
here.
perhaps he used a spell to add just a little bit of heat to the liquid or whatever. So your at least the feeling that you get is warmer. Oh, this is warmer. I don't know how you would magically get the flavor, right? Maybe
Magically delicious.
maybe some very hard thinking about what you can do with prestidigitation or druidcraft or whatever, really fine tuning it. Yeah.
He was contacting his patron to get, the direct, perfect blend of,
He's like,
sweet and spice, so he could start opening
exactly.
franchises across the new colonies.
Yeah, he's like, my family's business is actually what is it, Panda Express or whatever. The origin. He's like, I need the orange chicken recipe.
It's just that General Tso sauce.
Or sriracha even.
Finally, something to flavor this bland food.
Yeah.
Always have been fought for less.
Yeah, dude, it's all right. So
Empires have been built. If you have
I've
a
seen
need-
this entry
a
in his
need
journal.
for cinnamon.
yeah, he's the guy. I want a kind of sweet, but it's got to have a spicy
Which-
profile to it.
By the way, what a dumbass he was. Columbus miscalculated the diameter of the Earth by 60%.
Oh yeah, he just missed entirely.
It's almost like there was half the world he forgot to add to that.
Never mind the Greeks calculated within 5% in 200 BC?
Yep.
Yeah, they're like, man, we're living in some pretty big stuff right now. Columbus is like, nah, dude, I'll be over there in a couple weeks. I'm gonna go the other way though.
I don't know what it's like there now, but I lived in New York for kindergarten, and I think grade 1, and then I moved to Canada after, and the stark contrast of how Columbus is portrayed and his discoveries.
I mean, we're starting to get better. It's still pretty atrocious, though.
It was eye-opening. I came over here and spouted all the propaganda.
They're like, there was this pretty big dickhead who came from Europe, and he really fucked a lot of stuff up. The Americans will tell you something different, but that's
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they live there.
The videos even we watch in Canada, portray him as a bumbling fool at his best.
Yeah, just imagine there's that, but
there
like,
any Canadian historical minutes on Columbus being a fool?
No. No,
like
no.
my thing that's nuts is like, so for however idiotic he presented himself, that even his own government was like, dude, get out of here with this shit, but he was still able to sell it to somebody. You know what I mean? Like that's
He's like a
kind of
crypto
crazy.
speculator.
Yeah, someone just
Yep.
bid on it and was like, dude, yeah, we'll do it. You know what? Sounds good. Maybe they were just like tired of hearing him talk, and they were just like, dude, get out of dude. Take the ships. Got it. You're gonna leave. You're gonna leave though, right? Like, never to return back here. But whatever you make out there, you bring back to us.
Win-win.
I
Can
don't
you
know.
just imagine they fill out a requisition form for him? He goes
Yeah.
down to the dock and he's like, "Here's my form." And the harbor master looks and he's like, "The Nina, the Pinta, and the Sentiments. Are those still floating?
Yeah.
I thought we decommissioned those."
Yeah, they're like, no, dude, really great mint, the best ships ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and like
It's-
the elegance that the Greeks calculated the Earth's circumference is impressive.
Very much so. Of all the philosophers, Pythagoras is my favorite by far.
It's nuts how much information, like, yeah, we've been able to,
That's a lie. It's Archimedes, but Pythagoras is close.
yeah, Archimedes has got like a, stick his,
Well, it was I'm never gonna be able to say his name right. Eratosthenes who did it?
Yeah.
Um,
No.
yeah,
I know
by,
that.
by comparing two different obelisks.
I know
Yeah, but,
that
like, just-
it wasn't Pythagoras or Archimedes.
Yeah.
Just those two were my absolute
yeah, those
favorite.
are like your faves. Yeah. I just think in general it's crazy how much information is like stagnated. Like, for as much as we've been able to progress, the foundations of what we use are
It's almost like we
millennia.
were plunged into a dark age shortly after that.
It is nuts. I mean, you know, there was
Well, I mean,
who knows
I would disagree.
what kind of
in the
information was
sense of
lost
the-
in the burning of the Library of Alexandria. We don't know.
Well,
Can never even
that's
fathom.
that's a little bit apocryphal. The Library of Alexandria did not burn.
Rather, okay, perhaps the
The
destruction of information that
it
happened
wasn't
during
even that. It was a small port building that had like a list of the books that they had and were taking surveys of the books that ships had to make copies. It caught fire. The
Right.
library did not burn down, and it wasn't even in one instance destroyed. It was a longer like degradation process of lack of funds and things like that.
and maintenance. Well, what I'm getting at is there absolutely was like the Persians like scoured and destroyed information as they made their conquest, and so a huge part of the at least written text, you know, that's what gets like kind of built up is like the burning of Alexandria, but like a lot of the like communicated information that was stored or documented, like not verbally but like at least written,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they did go through and they did their best to destroy anything that wasn't, you know.
Well, it's not like it would have helped anybody. Y'all can't even figure out a kindergartner puzzle in fucking Dungeons and Dragons. Okay?
This is also true, but maybe we could. Maybe we could.
Maybe it's
If
the
that didn't
Persians'
happen,
fault.
yeah. I'm not
Well, I
saying
think
it's
it-
well, I'm just
Well, I
saying
think
like
I would say it just more set us back for a little bit, and then we go puts it back. 'Cause, I mean, we're sending probes outside our goddamn solar system and calculating like gravitational slingshots and shit. Like we're
And
we're
there's-
making
like
new,
the other part is like,
new
you know, there's like
observations.
everything that goes on about talking about how there used to be like this, you know, prior civilization that had so much knowledge and information, and
There's
then, you know, it's
there's a lot of foolishness there too, because like The lost city of Atlantis. I always forget if it was Plato or Socrates, but he
Plato.
was the first one to reference Atlantis.
Yeah, later.
The thing is, he always told allegorical stories with fictional countries to demonstrate an allegory.
Yeah, like
Inexplicably, this
yes.
one allegory that he gave, everyone's like, no, that one sounds like it's real. He's like, every one of them have been made up to this point. Why are we latching on thinking this one was real?
Yeah. Well, the only thing I would say that is similar now to then, that could be the only reason why, if you want to put, this is how I think, like an excuse to it, is the reason why you would not find ancient texts or written documents of something that was like super advanced at the time is because how do we store information? It's all digital. And now,
It's not about saying it didn't happen, but
I know.
people who want to like latch onto it are grasping at literal straws.
Yeah,
because he
and the
never
only way
meant
to
that
like,
to be real.
and the only demonstration that you would have to like even suggest that it could have happened and how it could have happened and why we can't find proof is that they found a way to digitally store information, and as we know, there was all of those, global catastrophes that happened that destroyed those like digital storage information warehouses or whatever, That's the only way that it would actually make sense. What we actually know that happened is there was a potential huge flood that was based on things that were happening cyclically in the environment,
And all coming from the region of one river that had a propensity to flood.
so it's
So when all of these civilizations say there's a great flood that ruined the world, it's like, yeah, well, you all are saying
You all
that
kinda live
around the
nearby.
same river.
yeah, exactly.
Around
the
same river.
And your world can encompasses like 100 square miles.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're like continually like progressing, but the thing that I was like kind of getting to is like all of the information of like what we extrapolate on is based on something that we've already discovered,
That's
a
how
few
science
thousand
moves
years ago.
forwards, man. You
Mhm.
build it on the back of your predecessors.
Yeah, there's nothing. I don't think there's really anything new. It's just how do you achieve the next thing is the only, I guess, new technology that exists.
Well, and then counter with dark matter, uh, cosmic background radiation.
Yeah, but we've
There's-
identified those things. So it's not.
No, I know, but we've identified those things in like the past 100 years, so and it's sort of completely new concepts.
I mean, even something as simple as like the data running through your computer, we didn't even fathom sending it at light speed at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Lightspeed, the concept only occurred in the last 80 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll be right back.
if we're ready to depart the cabin and start heading back towards Voltsnu, your scout just disappeared.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
I'll be right back as he darts off into the woods. Oh no! Right. Well,
He probably would have drawn attention to the troubling furrows and tracks that he found.
he did mention them because that's what I think kind of segued in right before the break. Is he had mentioned if there was anything in the journal about what he had seen outside.
You did not find anything in the journal referencing that.
Okay.
We all started doing the sand walk back towards Vishnu. Or Voltsnu.
Looking at my character sheet, I only now realize that I know how to speak Orc.
That's hilarious.
I've really been ingratiating myself in that last spot.
Yeah. Is Gnomish like a decent language to know, Corryn? Like, or is it like completely off?
It would be a very strange study. Gnomes have not had interaction with the humans, genasi, or elves
Okay.
for hundreds of years. So, like, you could have encountered it in texts and things, but that'd be the equivalent of being like, I'm proficient in Latin.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll talk about it later. Just like fine tuning, like what would be realistic for that other language I need to know.
Okay.
Hey man, get proficient in Latin. I'm apparently proficient with navigator's tools, and I've never been on the sea.
Never step foot in water. Don't even touch it if I can.
Hey, I mean, if you took an online
Just really-
class, then, you know,
Exactly.
you're just waiting for your opportunity.
Yeah,
Just
it's all
always been
theoretical
fascinated
at
by
that point.
speculums.
It gives Buster from Arrested Development in season 1.
Yeah.
That show is so fantastic. I love that show.
Really is.
As you're making your way back, if Lavas wants to give a survival check.
Sure.
Oh my god.
It's a 12.
It's a 12. You were venturing off for some time navigating when you abruptly come to the shores of the Cairn coast with its octagonal rocks jutting up. And while you're not lost, you have come to the coast prematurely of the town. So it's probably best to simply follow the coast
The ghost
the
up.
rest of the way. Yeah.
Lavos will look longingly out to the sea and think of his navigator tools.
Dykes will approach Lavas, and it seems as though you really do enjoy mapping all unknown areas of this region.
You start getting
Actually,
paranoid
this
that he's
seems-
leading you the wrong way just
Yeah.
to like
Yeah,
cover more.
yeah,
We're just gonna make a quick pit stop on the way.
yeah.
can I actually roll to for mapping?
Yes, you can.
First mid map I made.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. It would just be like,
Rudimentary.
yeah, like I'm not gonna put the terrain symbols on here quite yet.
There be dragons over there.
So it adds about a half day to your trip. As you'll be able to take a long rest by the coast, as nothing occurs during that time, but you do consume another round of rations.
You.
Finally, about a full day late, you come into view of Voldsnu once more.
Oh, finally.
I will tell you that the harsh reality of what Durkheim is, it does make Voldsnu slightly more comfortable.
Oh, absolutely. Your kind, the great craftsman. Bit of a buzzkill.
As you make your way into town, you're coming quite roundabout from over this way, along the coast. As the first that you encounter are some fishing ships, and some craftsmen in some huts on the outer rim of the town. A few of them looking over, give a nod, and say, coming from Durkheim?
Yes, we were there 3 days ago and have made our travel since. Maybe 2 days.
Didn't realize you'd be traitors dealing with them greenskins.
God damn.
Sykes throws his hood back, pulls his sleeves up, and he says, well, there's good business to be done in Durkheim, if you'd believe it or not.
The one sitting there just raises his tankard and takes a long drink, and he says, blood money, if you ask me. Tainted, no doubt.
Well, it is a good thing that we didn't ask you.
Didn't you?
And how is it that you've come by your money?
Only by plundering
He
the
kind of
land
like
that
gestures
doesn't
around and
belong
he
to
says,
you.
he kind of like gestures around and says, I built those.
What is he looking
Oh!
like
And
above?
then, at the houses here.
Okay.
And then turning his attention to Larn, he says, oh, we've got a pointy ears with us, do we? I'm surprised you can speak the common tongue. Woodland savages seem to be more...
Funny you'd be able to see without the with the nearsightedness of your kind blocking you.
See well enough to have found this place.
Well, let's hope you and yours last a little bit more than the rest of your kind. They seem to die fairly quickly here.
I take it you all didn't hear the news then, or you don't care keeping company with these louses. Speaking in the direction of, I mean, like, all of you are rejects, but Harkin and Chuck.
What?
Speaking to you two.
We've not heard any such news of anything that would...
Wasn't talking to your kind.
Oh, I see how this will be. Very well.
So, have you not heard the news, or do you just not care that you're traveling with the sort of company that got Nada captured?
The governor's been captured?
Oh! I take it you've not heard then.
But we-
Our great beloved Nada, on a peaceful diplomatic exchange with the Dalmuin ashes out there, in bad faith, was taken by them.
Who who
no.
discovered this news? How did this news reach Althsteir?
Two of the company managed to make it back. It's unclear if any of those Durkheim boogers were contributing to this.
As much as like Sykes is so open to like trying to be, or not even like trying, like he is very open to like other cultures and beliefs because he thinks that's what's gonna help propel like this region into like the next level
Yeah.
of like being successful.
Just not Maclubiet.
He grabs a dagger. He like just pulls his shield up and he just grits his teeth.
As you do that, there's like passersby who haven't been paying any attention, but they pay attention now. As you see a few of them posture up, a couple reach for pitchforks. One produces a crude spear, and within moments, you've got about like 8 people within 50 feet, all watching carefully at what you do next.
How
Listen
outside
here.
is Harkin from most of the crowd?
How what?
I assume we're like the center of attention now.
Yes.
Is there a way to create some distance so I'm not in view as much?
Maybe not with, like, you could try to back away and distance yourself. It's not like heaps of cover,
Yeah.
but they're mostly fixated on Sykes right now.
Okay.
The
I'm
one
trying to.
speaking was addressing you and Chuck, though, so he was watching you step back, and he's like, "What? You found out you're traveling with traitors, bastards who don't honor their decent word or the flag of diplomacy? And suddenly you want to go scurrying off? Interesting time to find a conscience, I'd say."
Who the fuck is this guy?
Can I know like someone's gonna notice, but can I try using calm motions to at least disperse the crowd? That's I know I can't like actually disperse them, but alleviate them enough.
Each within 20-foot sphere?
Yeah, I don't know how big of a crowd we've gathered at this point. I assume it's still not large.
There's about 8 people.
Yeah,
Eight
it's 8
people?
people.
6 will be in the radius. And
Including the main guy?
yeah.
Okay.
What's your spell save DC?
14.
The 4 out of 6 of them succeed. As you mildly ease the tensions, and a few kind of relax and put their things away, you've still got a pretty sizable amount who are paying attention.
So Sykes will go on. Listen here, we've done some good business for the dwarves here in Volts Noon. We intend to make good on that business. If you're trying to pin or even associate our group with the ne'er-do-wells that would have even taken the good Lord Nada, why would we show up here?
He's continuing to sit there, and he looks in your direction, puts a finger to a nostril, and then blows as he clears his nose in your general direction. Well, figuring that so many of you are savages who don't understand decent behaviors in diplomacy, of course you wouldn't see anything wrong with it, since you didn't balk at doing it. So why would you think there's any problem coming here, since you've shown no ability for morals? You're kind of proving his point right now. This guy who's been talking looks at Chuck and he says, "And how do you feel about this? Finding out the good governor, the one who's helped bring Voltsnu up from the ground, has been taken in such a dishonorable way." Have any thoughts on that? Does Chuck have a thought, or is Chuck busy?
Chuck's not even fucking paying attention to this guy. There's so much filth all over this fucking bar that I'm sitting here. It looks like I'm paying attention, but I'm really like.
Oh, you're not
breaking
even in
stuff
the
off
bar
the
yet.
wall.
This is like on the outskirts of town.
Oh, okay. Well then, fuck this guy. Let's kill him and drag him into the forest.
So it's like the lean-tos on the exterior of town, but because he came in along the coast instead of one of the roads, you've kind of been like in the suburbs and accosted.
Yeah, suburbs. This guy ain't that tough. We can fucking take him.
What I heard
we
is
kinda,
we're not
With our time.
we're not in the town, so the guards probably can't help.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna hear you scream, tough guy.
His life isn't even worth the moments spent to take it. I think we should find the.
I say we set him on
Perhaps.
fire.
I'm not opposed to it, but I don't think now's the time. If they think we're the ones.
I'm just spitballing here, guys.
Sykes just like spits like the biggest wad he can. He's trying to hit the boots.
Oh,
Trying to hit the guy's shoes.
God fucking damn it, Chuck cleans it out.
He gets up and he looks at you, and he blows his nose again, like onto your shirt. And then he says, "There, some green to match your green."
Harkin's gonna use prestidigitation to clean up the spot off of Sykes' shirt.
As you do that, that gets his attention, and he looks in at you, and he's, "Whoa. Okay. We don't need any problems.
Yeah, we do.
I didn't mean no harm."
Did you just realize we couldn't use magic?
Oh, this
Yes.
guy. Can we fucking do some magic on him? Who's got the magic rocks?
As he looks around at the
I'm
bystanders who
sorry.
are like seeing with weapons, and he's like, "We got magic users here."
Harkin
Uh,
is gonna step up and be like, "We didn't seek any trouble with the people of this town, and I understand the pain that you're feeling having heard that the governor was taken, but to accost travelers who have nothing to do with the incident of being traitors to this land without even knowing what we were doing seems short-sighted when clearly parties need to be formed to regain the governor from her captors."
Why?
this is what probably pay well.
Who cares?
And
These
if
guys
you
know how
want,
to use magic. We can
actually
fucking use
there
magic,
when
take
she
over
left.
this town.
if you want
That's
better, when
Sykes
she left,
or
I had already pledged that I would help her in anything that she would require,
Ugh.
knowing she was going on a.
I'm kind of
Adventure
interested in this
Foundry.
take over the city plan.
Come on, man. They fear us. You guys know magic. These guys are fucking apes with rocks.
Harkin's gonna try.
Yeah, Sykes will take like a
You're
take like
ape
a
with rock.
survey of potentially like what the as that kind of stuff is going on, and they're suggesting that he's just gonna take the opportunity to survey what the city defenses look like.
Oh god.
So Voltsnu has like patchworks of palisades to kind of like filter people to directions, but no hefty fortifications on the exterior. It's a pretty open encampment, but you have spent time here before. You've seen that there's like little guardhouses interspersed through the town, and they have like lengths of portable palisade that looks like they could pick up and transport to the gaps and create minor blockages.
Who's the guy that was talking shit to us a second ago? Who is this guy? Is it just a random guy?
Yeah, I assume he's
Just a
just a
dude.
random guy.
Is
Like,
a
because we're not even in the
builder
town, right?
in the town. Yeah, you're like here.
Is he like an influential builder?
He lives on the outside of town, so I don't think so.
Yeah.
Might be
Harkin-
I
like
mean,
a
he's no real
team
estate
lead,
developer, that's
but
for
that
sure.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, Harkin's gonna be like, you know what? I'm done out here. We have business inside the city. Perhaps the local guard and militia are putting together groups to look for the governor, and perhaps our time would be best spent
Who's
there.
in charge of the city now, while the governor's gone?
I would assume it's. Did she even
I
say?
have to go in to find out.
I assume there was some sort of like lieutenant governor or something.
Yeah, let's find out who that is and then kidnap them too.
Oh,
Just keep whittling it down.
I mean, the
Excellent.
more I think about it, the more I think we could actually take over this town, and it wouldn't even be that hard. We just keep
No
kidnapping the
comment.
next person in charge.
And this is how this campaign turned into another Barovia.
Sorry, man. There's just too much talking today.
God damn it.
I gotta light some fires, man.
Harkin's just gonna go into town. He's gonna leave the
Yeah.
others if they're gonna
Smart,
continue
doing
with this
recon.
man.
You go find out who's in charge.
Harkin will give like a annoyed wave, like goodbye while he goes into town. He'll mention he'll meet him at the bar where we first met.
Next time you will not be so lucky.
Lavas and Chuck, where do you go when you get into town?
Let's start asking around, find out who's in charge. I'll go back to that first tavern, the one that Harkin says he's gonna go to. That way I can. 'Cause that guy likes me. I cleaned up his place. He wants me to work for him.
I was gonna say Harkins was also trying to do some exploration. He wasn't gonna be at the the tavern right away.
Yeah, do we want to hit the village first? I'm sorry.
With Lavas, are you going somewhere in particular?
No, I'll probably just go to the tavern as well.
Then, starting with Chuck and Lavas, as you get to the tavern, Billum, the bartender, recognizes and he's like, Chuck! My friend! You're back!
Billum, my lover. How have you been?
Oh, don't get my hopes up teasing like that.
Well, my cleaning is like my lovemaking. It's thorough. And I'll leave you satisfied? I don't know. I've never talked dirty to a bartender before.
Can't say the thoughts never crossed my mind.
That's extra. So, you still got a job here for me if I want it?
What job? I didn't pay you. But of course you're welcome to continue cleaning.
Oh, okay. And I'll just begin cleaning.
He just
Totally.
shakes his head, marveling at this, and he turns and looks at Lavas and he says, I do not understand what heavy rock fell on his head when he was a child to make him like this. But damn if I don't love it.
Interesting. Last time we were here, he said he did pay him.
He did
Well,
pay
I
me,
mean,
pay me like 15 gold.
No, the 15 gold was in Durkheim. Billum paid, like, he didn't even really pay you, like, he tipped you.
Yeah, Chuck did it of his own free will. He just got like benefits. I feel like.
Yeah, because like it was shortly after that that we started making our way down to the artisan quarter where we met the dwarves. So
Yeah,
you
Chuck had been
demonstrated
a staple
his
here,
work
and he
here.
like took kindly to you and gave you some money and lodging, but it wasn't so much like he outright hired you. It was more like he forgot that he didn't hire you.
Chuck never noticed.
Bless you for that. So Lavas, you're at the bar while Chuck is immediately heaving to with his cleaning duties.
Yeah, that's about right.
So what is it I could do for you? Care for a drink?
Yeah, definitely.
He pulls you a nail and he says, as long as your friend's working, it's on the house.
Keep it up, Chuck.
And finished. I'm just kidding.
He's like the Tasmanian devil. That's exactly how I pictured Chuck.
But
It's like,
reverse
well, too good to be
Tasmanian
true.
devil.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Tasmanian devil scene in Space Jam. That's what I think. If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
okay.
We know.
I
Bitch, please.
But
I
it's
grew
just
up in
kinda
the
like really
90s.
quiet. I understand.
Yeah,
you
I was like,
easy reference.
Don't be talking about shit. Grew up on Space Jam.
the hold it had on our generation.
The hold that Lola Bunny had.
Yeah.
Had.
Yeah, had.
Her
What?
and you want to talk about the two rabbits?
Jessica
Lola
Rabbit,
and
of course.
Jessica.
Yeah.
Listen, man, they
whole
tried
generation
everything they could
confused.
to make me a furry.
Yeah,
Don't act like you don't jerk off to anime.
they succeeded in a lot of minds.
Oh. Yeah. Anyhow.
So he's poured you a drink and then he just sighs as Chuck's finished. He says, "Miracle worker, that one. His hands, so good with that mop's haft. He can really work that wood."
Phrasing?
No, I think he said exactly what he wanted to.
Ellen, where have you lot been?
That is a good question.
We kidnapped the governor.
No, we didn't, but we got accused of it.
No, but we did. We took him out to that shed in the woods.
Find out the mages. The mage.
Billem's got that face of like, thinks you're joking, but isn't sure, so it's like. No, really, what have you been up to?
We were at the Orc Village for a while.
Good heavens! What were you doing out there?
They hired us to kidnap the governor.
Honestly,
You and your humor.
I don't know what we were doing out there, but the place is kind of a drag.
Is it true they don't drink there?
Not a drop.
He like leans back and he makes like a holy symbol to one of the gods.
No music, no entertainment.
Mount Celestia take us all.
Some decent craftsmen, though.
Well, of course, there's nothing else for them to bloody do out there. Seketh, take them, like what is the purpose of life? Benwin as my witness, I'd rather do nothing and drink than do everything and not drink.
Hey, isn't it one and the same? You're doing nothing if you're not drinking.
He raises a cup and clanks it against yours and he says, I'll drink to that.
Guys, I think we're supposed to be looking for information, but I don't know that Laval is fully engaged with that.
What about Chuck?
What is Chuck doing? He is trying to work a bunch of rings off the bar.
He's meeting
Like there's
water
like
dimensions.
what are they called? Watermarks or whatever?
Yeah.
So I'm cleaning the bar while I'm sitting here.
In that case, pivoting over, Solarin, what are you getting up to?
I was probably gonna accompany whoever had the rocks to
Okay.
go get back.
So is it all three of you going to the dwarves?
I think the Ikes would definitely be interested in closing that deal.
Okay.
And trying to, see. He's a little inquisitive about the process and what they're doing,
Where did who was all at the bar with Bellum? It was Chuck and who else?
Lavas.
Of us. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I guess Koei would be like in tow with. I think Koei would probably be about the tavern over the business.
Probably wants to get paid though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much would like to get paid. Oh, she owes them based on
Yes.
some stuff.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah,
And
so she
so
definitely.
does Harkin.
Okay. Yeah.
As you
An orc, an elf, and a tiefling walking through town.
walk into a bar.
Well, it's an orc, an elf, a tiefling, and a satyr, right? Isn't she a satyr or a satyr?
Yes.
Did anyone catch
Oh,
up to?
man.
I assume Harkin wasn't too far ahead. When he left
Yeah,
the group.
probably not.
I'm trying to decide if he would have headed there or if he would have been. Hi, what? Oh, sorry. I got confused. Something copy pasted into my notes. I think Harkin won't go to the rock store, but if they're like with him, he'll mention that he'll want his loan to be paid with 2 of the rocks.
Okay. Do you remember exactly how much?
I can look. I have it in my notes.
Okay. Because I thought it was like either based on weight or based on.
It was based on weight.
Okay.
It was, but so I believe
You can fly.
Harkin
You
and
can touch the
Toei
sky.
Based, yeah,
each
well,
owe 2 pounds of the ore,
2.
so 4 pounds in total.
Do we know Space Jam?
It got really quiet after I had made that comment, and
I'm
so I was
kidding.
like, dude, maybe it didn't.
Just kidding.
I don't know, man. It got like, maybe it was like weird. I had like made that comment. I don't know. It just was like super
Well-
quiet. So I was like, maybe you guys didn't see it. I don't know.
Well, you talk about that thing with LeBron James, right?
The
Shut
abomination
your whore
with
mouth.
Michael B. Jordan.
Hashtag not my Space Jam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Hashtag take it all.
So as you come to the Dwarven Guild Association, you see a different dwarf sitting behind the desk. It seems to be a female dwarf with braided hair and little spectacles, and she looks up at you. Welcome. How is it we could help you today?
We had business here to return, or rather procure some rather magical ore or
Yes, I have the notes here. Boy, they really weren't kidding. Tiefling, satyr, half-orc. Quite the odd pairing. They don't even need any kind of identification from you.
well, hopefully that speeds the process along. We had a debt that needed to be paid in the ore weight itself, and then we were promised money based on the weight of the rest of the ore.
Yes, I have the debt notes here, and you're explaining this process like it isn't our business.
Just making sure everything is clear.
Now then, how much of the ore do you bring back in total?
I think, out of character, the total amount of ore that we had gathered was...
It was about 30 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Just take the bag and just on the table. That much.
Lovely.
Now to make sure we have the most of it and our party and your party can know that the exact transaction has been made. Sykes pulls out his scale and he's gonna put it on the counter. We'll make sure that everything is precise as should be.
Oh, that's adorable. Not like I've ever seen someone do that before.
Well, I'm sure it's a custom for anyone that's going to be selling or making a profit based on weight of any goods that they may or may not be bringing to you.
She pulls out like a long blade, not like a sword, but like a flat, almost like frosting blade, but like just sets it down in the ore and then flicks some of it off to the left onto a scale that's built into the table. There's your debt. 26 pound 2 ounces. Would you like to check it? I have an abacus here if you need some help with the math.
I have my own abacus, milady, but
She kind of blinks at you. She says, 9 hells, I was kidding.
if
You
you're
can't
so
do basic
terrible,
arithmetic?
I can do all of the arithmetic. If it's the 26 pounds and 2 ounces you'll be paying us for, then I think we're satisfied with that.
I'm glad you're agreed with being satisfied with the existence of weights. Now then,
You can't be so foolish as to believe that no one has ever tried to cheat you or has been cheated before. I simply was implying that I wanted to make it an honest trade and an honest effort to meet the standing contract.
I have in the notes here that you were agreed, what was it? I believe 20 gold per pound?
That was the bond.
Well, good news. Rates have gone up, and we honor retroactive adjustments. It is up to 23 per pound. As she sets a pouch on the table and says, bringing your total to 602.6. I trust this is satisfactory to all of you.
Yes. Wonderful.
Splendid. Well then, thank you for doing business with us. Good day.
It's at 623.
602. 602.6.
Alright, I'll just put it in the party inventory. For now.
Do you all rendezvous then?
I think Sykes has got, I think, he just kind of wants to tour the, like, merchants quarter, if there's a merchants quarter. He's interested in, like,
Of
building
sorts.
rapport and, like, connection with folks that, as he comes in and out of the cities, he really wants to, like, try to build
Okay.
a rapport with the merchants.
And where does everyone else go?
Probably stick with Sykes, but as he's going around, I want to keep my eyes out open for heavy armors. A little better than I think I got chainmail now.
Okay.
Harkin's gonna go see if he can find any information on the kidnapping or any sort of rescue operation that needs help.
Then you can end up back at the tavern, probably being a good place.
Harkin, before you leave, would you agree that getting armor for me would be a good thing for the party to maybe donate to?
I don't think your armor's gonna cost 600 gold. Or at least I
No,
hope not.
the whole amount, but I'm saying we have 827 in the party gold. If I find something, would you be in favor of me purchasing it?
I see no problem with that. This is Solarn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see no problem with that, especially after you give out so much of your energy to help keep us up. I would advise if you're out shopping that you look out for any sort of healing potions or herbs. That way
I
we're
will
not
see
so
what's
so reliant.
I will definitely keep an eye out. And
Then
you,
you're
good
going
Sir Sykes,
shopping?
do you have no worries?
Well, I think that if there's someone that's gonna stand in between a blade and myself, I would rather that they don't get harmed. So absolutely, let us make sure that if that's your intent, then we equip you well.
Excellent. Just wanted sort of backup if Chuck or Coey bitches later.
I don't think Toei really understands the concept of money and its worth.
She knows she wants it.
What do you mean? Why would I bitch?
Perhaps you
just
would
about
like
payout
something more.
for Lavas just having like majority vote. Or not majority vote, but
He just wants to make sure if there's something super expensive that exceeds his individual allowance, that it's not so egregious if we're okay with it.
What kind of armor would Solarn be looking for?
I mean just anything better than chainmail. Maybe plate. Well, plate's gonna be.
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
expensive.
honey, you can't afford plate.
Yeah. Just anything better than sort of chainmail.
Give me an investigation check.
Can I help him with that? Because we're like both kind of like looking for stuff together.
I thought you were socializing with people.
Well, yeah, absolutely am socializing with people.
So
Yeah, so I guess like
around the side.
while he's doing that, I would be talking to the folks.
Solarn, you find one dwarven vendor advertising his wares as some of the most original forms of armor made, demonstrating a set of splint armor that seems to have small granules of the greenish glowing ore fused into the chest pieces.
I walk up and approach. Hey,
You'd have to see it in action to believe it, but seeing it in action would cost you. But I promise you've never seen anything quite like this. It's good, well designed, gives you protection from slashing damage, and these magical dreamstones guard the wearer from death.
Dreamstones, you say?
Yes, only found in this immediate region.
Can I give an insight?
Go ahead.
God damn
Checks out.
it.
You're like, well, I mean, I guess we haven't seen the green ones anywhere except for in the general region here.
Mhm. That is quite fascinating. And how much do you need for this mechanical marvel?
300 gold, and it is a steal. But only reason I'm giving it to you for such a price is I need testimonials.
And
So you can get in on the ground floor for a bargain price as long as you help spread the word about how great it is, and I'm sure you'll do great things. We'll be able to credit your success with the fine craftsmanship you're benefiting from here.
it
It's
seems
literally
like a quality
can't
build.
lose all around.
Oh, just have this finish. I believe this would be, yes, a good deal. And what is your name, good sir, so I may sing your praises?
Gunther. Gunther the Guileful. Best blacksmith in these parts.
All right, well, I do believe we have ourselves a deal. And I'll give, so I got 62. What do you say, 300?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give them 62 and then 238 out of the party fund. Alright. And yeah. Buy me some armor.
As you're doing so, Harkin and Koei probably heading back to the tavern, finding Lavas drinking and Chuck cleaning, and neither inquiring the ways that they said they would.
Yeah. How's Billum look to see that me and Toei are here?
He lights up a bit as he sees you and he says, "Come to perform again? Huh? Huh?"
Oh, I wouldn't say no. Dirt time was very light on work for me.
Splendid! Up top! Oi! You're done! Out of here! Go! Go! As he, basically shoos off the guy who's performing right now to make room for you.
Alright, well, if he's okay with it, Harkin's gonna change into his performance costume for the time being. And I have to check my notes now, because I think I promised Palatar to write another song. I can't remember.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Clearly you've not.
Yeah, because it was when we were fighting the dryads, and this time I can't remember if we had agreed on Tingle being the character or Palatar, but I think
Yes.
Harkin's gonna leave it vague and up to interpretation.
Okay.
Just as he can't quite remember, and his notes are kind of smudged from the travels. Let's see.
You can give me a performance check then.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, not his best one.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You get about 2 minutes in, and Billem's like, "All right, yes, thank you. That was well done. You're up next. Let's go." As you're only as good as your next song, apparently.
Wow. I just given his very short. He's not gonna say it was terrible, but it's definitely not up to the standards of his previous performances here. He'll ask Bellum about any news that he's heard about a rescue party for the governor.
As Billum just like shakes his head, he says, "Dreadful business, dreadful. Wish I could say it was a surprise, but we all kind of knew it'd be coming eventually. Can you believe it? The backhanded dishonor of taking someone, meeting you to have discourse, diplomatic mission, and seizing and kidnapping them. Attacked them on the way there.
So
In the
they
civilized world, you'd never hear of such a thing, but what do we expect from savages like this? Begging your pardon," he says, looking at Lavas. "I know not all of your kind are the same, but you get stereotypes for a reason."
that other elf will love him. So they
Lauren's
weren't
trying
even
really
at.
hard not to kill all the people on the street.
Yeah. So they hadn't even reached their negotiation point yet when they were attacked.
Just outside, if word is correct.
How are we sure that it was the group they had planned to meet and not another tribe trying to interfere?
What, other Delwins?
Oh, we've met many so far. Some hostile, others open to at least some talks before things sour.
Well, of course, not every Delwin is exactly the same. Not saying that, okay? Before I get cancelled out here. But, I mean, they're all of the same group, right? Where's the responsibility? Where's the messenger coming from? Oh, what's his name? Kiwi. And then he pauses and he's like, what is his name? Any of you recall?
Are you talking? We mean the
The messenger for...
No,
the leader.
the head. Yeah, the leader.
For what group?
It's somewhere. I'm trying to find it.
The Delmwin in the region. The tribe settlement is known as Tirith Nor.
Mhm.
I remember having that, but I don't remember a name. If a name was given or not.
Kiri Lotar.
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
as
yeah.
he eventually
Yeah, leader
recalls.
Kiri Lotar.
Yep.
Yeah. So NATO went there to go
To even
get-
make it there. Well, is
They
there?
were within maybe 30 minutes, if the survivors are to be believed. Not that they'd lie, but clearly it was traumatic.
Yes. And I've learned recently that even though they might appear to be of the same group, they could be of an entirely different group or tribe. Sloran, do you know anything about this larger group and any rivals that they might have?
I don't think I'm back yet. I think me and Sykes
Oh,
are
you-
still.
Yeah,
Oh, they still
shopping.
out?
He's talking
Okay.
to people.
That makes sense. Is Lavas one of the locals, or is he from the Fae?
he's from the Fae.
Okay, so he wouldn't know. It is. I assume the intermediate ruler of this of the settlement has put together a rescue party.
We are rallying. Her second in command was with her. As I understand it, the Azure Wardens are preparing for a raid that direction and asking for volunteers.
The wardens again. So, if she took her second in command, who's currently in charge of the settlement?
We don't rightly know currently.
Well, who in the meantime has taken charge? Given the
More
news.
like a collaborative effort, it seems like.
Very well. Do you know where these wardens are currently meeting and looking for assistance?
There's a council hall where they gather to discuss the things. It seems mostly they're trying to avoid making important decisions, but help keep everything flowing.
And this raiding party, as you call it, is their sole goal just to bring back the governor?
I imagine they wouldn't mind seeing a few Delwyn dead along the way, but no, it's to get Nada back.
And there's been no ransom for her that's arrived yet?
We've heard not a word from Tirith nor Kiri Lotar.
I find it strange that they... So when we first met the governor, I can't remember if she said they had made plans to go or if they were invited.
I don't think you got that distinction.
Okay. It just seems disturbing to me that she was captured outside their settlement and not within it. At that point, there wouldn't have been anyone who would have been gotten away.
Well, of course, a cowardly ambush while their guard was down.
But would it have made more sense to do it within the town where they had greater numbers and even more of a advantage? I find this whole thing odd that
throws his hands up and he's like, well, first of all, I'm not a tactician, nor are you by the look. Maybe there is an aspect we don't know, but also I think you are overlooking the possibility that these Delmoin savages might not be the brightest.
Harkin will kind of knit his brows and be like, I have to agree that some of their kind seem to choose rather foolhardy methods.
They don't build cities, they live in hovels or in trees and roam around and eat the grass. They're all barbarians or woodland folk.
Yes,
I
but
just
they
punch a hole into the wall, not knowing why.
Yeah,
Are
they're
they
all
like-
Kyles.
Yeah, but at least they've been able to live in this land for far longer than any of our settlements have. Perhaps there's some knowledge that they haven't shared with us about how they managed not to face whatever sort of calamity that your previous settlements have.
I am sure it's easy to survive if you just roll over and show your belly to all of the scary things here and agree to be submissive to it. We're here to tame the world, bend it to our will, and do what they could not here.
Well, in that case, how late in the day is it currently?
Like 1 or 2 p.m.
Okay, so we have time to wait for Sights and Solarn to make it back before we do anything.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so the rest of you do rejoin, and I imagine, unless you have something else you wanted to do.
No, I think Sykes was able to do what he needed to, and
So if you're all back at the Willow Bark, Billum is telling tales about all the silly things that have happened, but he keeps coming back with a little bit of melancholy about Nada's capture. If you're all rejoined at the tavern, what would you be thinking?
Sykes would be kind of getting on about how they can get, he did kind of make a couple connections with some folks about being able to maybe bring in more income about mining. And even if we could potentially bring in more, I guess, like, resources for brewing. So he was able to kind of make some connections with a miner, a blacksmith, and a brewer. He would kind of like share that with the group, and like, if there was the potential to make income, they could kind of trade, maybe sell exclusively to, like, directly to the like those individuals versus like brokering through the Merchants Guild, but it would be at a cost of potentially breaking any sort of like laws in the area for that. He would just suggest it as an option.
As
For people of our
Solarin,
bent, it might not be wise for us to be pitting them against each other or giving us more reason for them to hate.
Yes, perhaps, but it is a quicker way to the coin. And maybe if we establish ourselves as someone that can procure what they require, then maybe we ourselves become part of the Merchants Guild, and we can advocate on the behalf of those that require our services.
It is possible, but these ones seem... The punishments that would seem to have been described for them going against the guild leads me to believe that we might be outed before we attain that position.
Perhaps, but I think that if they were forthcoming with even entertaining that idea, that they would be willing to partake in anything that goes against that code. I can't give the names of my clients, but I think that we could benefit from supporting them and helping them.
Believe we need to learn the pieces of the board a little bit more before we move.
whilst you're deliberating, stepping into the tavern, you see a clearly dressed Azure Warden, however, not the one that you'd spoken to before, Telmir. This one's clean-shaven and much younger looking and wiry. A little uneasy at speaking, he kind of stomps his foot still and he says, "Oi all! Oi all! We're asking one more time for volunteers. We've already got. He turns and like points towards the door as stepping in appears Palikar. A fine knight? You a knight, sir? I am. Right, well, we've got one knight volunteering going with us, but if there's any others out here, you'll also be traveling with several of Claghammer who have agreed to come as well. So don't be worrying about magic. We will be protected. Any interested in helping get back the good governess, Nada?
Sykes stands up, not like super fast, but like he stands up, kind of puts his drink down, and if we're gonna help the good governor Nada, I'd be interested. And then he kind of like gestures to the rest of the group, like,
There's some clanking of taverns and of the mugs, tankards. That's the word I was looking for. In approval for you volunteering.
Arjun's gonna go say hi to Palikar.
He gives a broad smile and he claps you on the shoulder and he says, "Friend, it is good to see you alive and not dead."
Same Palikar. I see you found another worthy cause.
Until the moment the blade slices my neck, and I do not plan to make it easy.
Ah. And nor do I expect you to.
Shall we go on another adventure together then?
As long as the wardens here allow my group into the party that's being assembled, I don't see any reason not to.
Oh, come now, of course they'll take you.
Arjun will look to the others other than Sykes to see if anyone else is
yeah,
gonna stand
Sykes
and
like
say,
arms open, still like, come on, guys.
Solarin will stand up and sort of turn to the room. If these reports are to be believed, there may be treachery, but I will stand with you to show that my people are those of honor, and that if this governor has been taken, that it was
Yes,
not.
yes! Let's go kill some Delwins!
I like to think that's just Chuck in the background.
Just stirring
yes,
the pot.
let's just go. Let's just go kill the damn one. Yeah, that would just be a great idea.
See, even their own kind know they deserve to die.
Well, I think it's more about preserving the
No, you heard him say, let's go kill the Delwyn.
Fine, fuck it. I have a list if we're going to kill Devlin.
Little
Maybe he'll
Johnny
cross some
picked
names
on me in
off.
the
Yeah.
3rd grade.
Exactly. This is
That was
Ariane.
one.
This is
pulls
Ariane Stark.
He just
No,
pulls
right.
out a scroll, holds it up arm length, and it just hits the ground.
It rolls 15 feet. Oh, no. You need to kick it down the stairs. It can go further.
How does Chuck feel about going and killing Delwyn elves?
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally fine with it.
They probably had to come in, right?
I mean, sure. I like to think once I start the fire, whatever happens after that isn't really my fault.
Yeah, you didn't start the fire.
Yeah, fires have a mind of their own.
They'll see
have no
what's
memory.
to be sought, you know? And they'll burn what's to be burned. So
Lavas, having your drink at the table.
That's a good question. Was that conversation had in front of us, or was it elsewhere?
Oh yeah, no, this was like a public announcement in the tavern. This is like building a posse.
I don't think we should go kill them. Where did Chuck fall? Chuck, where do you fall on this?
I fall in the I don't give a fuck range. You wanna kill somebody? Let's go kill them. I don't give a fuck.
There's
I
some
won't.
boos as Lavas is hesitating. It says, "See, one of the Delmuins hesitating."
Is Solaris with us?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think
So
right
The
now,
mission is to recover the governor, not necessarily to murder them all.
Exactly!
We-
Kill the Delmuin!
That's like how Sykes took it too. Is like, yeah, there may be some unwanted murdering or killing of the aggressors, but recovering the governor is like the priority.
As a rule of thumb, I don't join mobs.
This is looking a bit like a mob, but overseen by the Azure Wardens, which you've worked for. So
Let's
it's a
tag
question,
along.
Jin.
Maybe we can try to sway some of the bloodshed.
That's a good thought. Maybe if you're with him, it'll be a little bit less massacre-y.
Yeah.
That's sort of Solarin's thought too. It's like maybe I can step in, broker something later.
In that case, then you get ready to depart as the call goes out for first thing in the morning. Any business that you're wishing to get done in town, you're able to do. You also, over the course of the long rest, discover a couple of things. Any of the items you haven't identified in your on your person yet, you could learn the properties of.
I could also, sort of in the downtime, hawked my chainmail to somebody for some cash.
yeah, did we get health potions during that shopping trip?
You are able to find 2 for sale for 50 gold apiece. You will also learn that the 6 vials you found are also health potions.
Can we hawk the our mine chainmail for 50 gold and pay the other 50 for the other potion?
Yes.
Cool. So, health potions, we have 8 now.
Yay.
Send it.
I just, while we're doing this, the long rest, Harkin's going to take some time looking at that first shard from the Dryad killing explosion to see if he can learn anything
Okay.
from it.
Unfortunately, that one seems to be in a raw state. While it has magic to it, it doesn't have any like quantifiable identity properties. It's more like a component than anything.
I guess Sykes will look at the. I don't know. I just stepped back into it, but Sykes will look at that red liquid to see the properties.
Those are potions of healing.
Okay.
All 6 of them.
Okay. And then he if he had time to, I guess he would kind of contemplate the purple quartz that he like was able to get, and then kind of the very specific focus he's looking at, because he already spent some time and then everything kind of wrote it away. He's more interested to see, like, while he's manipulating it, if what they gathered before perhaps isn't like the actual raw state. Like, he knows that some of the components kind of broke away, and maybe they're like, there's a way to refine, I guess, the material before it would be used.
It seems as though it's been refined into that little purple marble that was at the core of it.
Yeah.
And this purple marble seems to be a little bit more refined than the green one ore that you found. And it seems that perhaps you can experiment with some ways for this to interact with other things, like putting it on an arcane focus, putting it into a spell book, even putting it into a weapon, like as a pommel, might yield some results to it.
Okay.
The other thing that you found is that at the end of the long rest, everyone who is a spellcaster has learned one additional spell. So if you're a prepared caster, you get to know one additional spell. And if you're a known spellcaster, you get to add another spell to your known spellcasting. As your time and exposure with magic here has broadened your horizons.
Can I also identify the rod and the robes?
The rod 9 arcane focus. The robes let you cast mage armor once per day for free.
Was there anything specific about the boots, or they were just nice boots?
Just nice boots, unfortunately.
No, it's totally fine. I mean, Sykes he's got to be able to start somewhere. If they're nice boots, he'll start making some nice boots.
Sort of for Solarian with that arcane exposure, mean like I get another light die or something?
Unfortunately, no. Because it's not gaining another spell slot, it's gaining another known spell. I can just hear you mentally going, that's fucking bullshit.
It's
Well,
not
just-
cool,
just-
man.
So it's not going to help me.
Correct.
Okay. I was just making sure, like, I was like, I didn't have to look up anything. Okay.
No. For the proper spellcasters, the real spellcasters. You'll get a boon suit.
Yeah, I really flirted with like trying to increase the multi-classing of Sykes, but I was like, it doesn't make sense. As much as I want to get into the magic of this realm, that's not who Sykes is.
I mean, you could take up arcane casting or
Yeah,
Eldritch Knight at some point.
Exactly, I could, and I thought about it for a long time, but at the same time, I was like, that's ultimately not who he is.
It's not who he is, but it also could be, in essence, incidental from just your time here.
Yeah. I did think about it, and it's something that's like weighed on me, because there is like the easy connection to like wanting to dive into that, and how would that make sense? But then it's also like, you know, Sykes is a half orc who grew up in a very rigid structure, and then essentially got all the potential freedom, quote unquote, that Durkheim could offer, and then, you know, for him it's like he's just trying to make good on the relationships he can with others. You know, magic doesn't particularly fit into that. Other
It
than
doesn't,
like,
but it is a somewhat spontaneous thing here as well. So it could be an
Yeah.
unbidden thing that's uncomfortable to him.
yeah. Whereas like that's where like whenever there's those moments where it's like there's this stuff happening and he's like, hold on now, you're telling me you guys know how to control that kind of stuff? That's interesting to him. But he might be a little fearful of it, I think.
Well, I think that's where we'll end for tonight then, and resume with the massacre. I mean, the rescue over at Tirith Nor. Definitely not a
Yeah.
genocide.
I have to say,
Totally
we
not.
run into Palatar a lot.
Yeah, he's like a someone here is like a actual warlock and he is their patron. You're like, yeah, like that's what's going on.
He's such a nice guy, though. I can't suspect him of anything because he seems to be maybe a paladin of that. Oh God, what was the god's name? I can't remember. The one that's the hospitality one.
Oh, so the Hearthkeeper.
Yes, the Hearthkeeper.
That is, I drew a blank also. That is Tilda.
Hilda.
He's invoked Tilda.
Yes, that's the first thing he did when we met him.
So he is a paladin of the goddess of hospitality and caring and giving.
Do you think he's
Can't
gonna
be mad at that kind of guy.
if he's gonna have a holy war because they invite her over and then kidnapped her and it's not very hospitable of him?
I mean, that would be a pretty heinous act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think like he would be offended, but also like, well, it's like I still need to offer him the courtesy if they're my guest.
Kill him immediately upon leaving,
Yeah.
but not before.
No longer my guest, dead.
Not like I feel like something might be afoot. Like, doesn't seem like us. Like, we're not usually that big of dicks.
All right, guys, I gotta talk. Thank you.
Yep.
Alright.
It was good seeing
See you
you
guys.
Good night.
or talking to you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yep.
Bye bye.